Okay, so in this video, I'm going to introduce you to a new function on Examscreen, which is all based around using a countdown timer as opposed to a conventional clock for exams. Now, in most examinations, both in the UK and internationally, countdown clocks are not actually permitted. So this will be most pertinent to you if you are running international baccalaureate IB exams where a countdown timer is permitted for those exams. So you'll see if you go onto your account settings in Examscreen, if you're an existing user, you will see at the bottom of the page there's a new option now under the clock setting, which says show timer option. And it just gives you a little explainer there if you're an international baccalaureate school and or want to have the option to run exams using a countdown timer. Now, we've added this to everybody's account, but it's defaulted to no. So you'd have to go in there and actually activate it. So I'm just going to do that now. I'm just going to add the timer option to my account. So one thing I would recommend is that if you don't have to use the timer option, that you don't activate it, because otherwise it's just going to potentially cause a confusion for your invigilators when they get on the screen, and you obviously don't want them using a countdown timer when it's not permitted. So I would not check that unless you are running IB exams or specifically need a countdown timer. Just to show you quickly, for the purposes of this video and to explain it, I have actually, although my school doesn't run IB exams, I have added a bunch of IB qualifications so that I can show you on the screen um, some actual IB exams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the screen, which just looks conventional at the moment, but you'll see at the top here there's this little function here to switch from the clock to a timer. I'm just going to switch the date to a date in May when I know that there are IB exams running. So I'm just going to switch to the 13th of May like that. And now I'm going to shift from the clock view to the timer view. When I do that, it comes up with a warning message which just says that some exam standards strictly forbid countdown timers. Are you sure you want to switch to a timer? So this is a good warning message just to make the invigilator think about whether or not they're using the appropriate kind of clock. So I'm going to say yes to change to a timer, and you'll see it slightly changes then the structure of the screen. So you've got a wider left-hand side because you don't have the clock anymore. But otherwise, it looks pretty similar to your conventional exam screen, and we wanted the look and feel to be the same because we feel that that is that we've hit, we've hit a really good look for students that's simple and clear, and we don't want to do anything that sort of disrupts that. So then it's really the same principle for adding exams. So I'm just going to select one IB exam from here. I'm going to take the biology high level paper, which is an hour, and I'm going to save that to the screen. And then I'm just going to do the normal thing of increasing the text size, get it to a nice decent size so the students, it's very clear for the students if they're sitting at the back of the room, etc. Okay, now you'll see that there are a bunch of buttons that you won't have seen on Examscreen before. 4 buttons. There's one to start the exam. There's one to start reading time. So if the exam has a 5-minute reading time, you can start that, and you'll see it comes up like that. There's a button that pauses the clock, and then there's one that just resets and sets you back to the beginning. So if I hit the start exam, you'll see that it starts to count down. If there were an interruption in the exam, then you do have the facility that you could pause it. This isn't something, obviously, that you have on conventional Examscreen because for most JCQ style qualifications, you need to be showing the real time, the real clock. So we have some workarounds with that on Examscreen. But on this countdown time, you can actually pause the clock. And as I said before, you can reset it. So I'm just going to show you that exam as well and add some extra time to show you how that looks. So there you go, you've got the extra time listed underneath and the other clock, and you can again start the exam and it will count down like that. And that's it really, it's very straightforward. The only other thing that I would need to show you then is what happens when you have more than one exam. So I'm just going to get rid of that one and start again. And this time I'm going to put the standard level biology and the higher level on there like that. Save that, and then you have obviously 2 exams listed. Now this time you'll see that you've got this little checkbox between each before each exam, and also that the buttons here are kind of grayed out, so you can't do anything with them at the moment. So basically you have a choice now. You can either select everything that's on the screen, and then whatever action you apply will apply to all the exams that are selected. Or you can just say, okay, I just want to choose this one. You can do that, and then if you were to perform an action, then like start the exam, let's just drop below. But that one has started, whereas this one, which you didn't select, has just stayed as it is. So that's not budging. If I were to then select that exam again, pause and reset, and then I select both of them and I start the exam, then you'll see that they both start like that. This is a useful function as well, because obviously if you had one exam where you had reading time, so you could select that exam, start the reading, and then select the other exam and start the exam if the other one didn't have reading time. So that enables you to basically control each exam individually, which I think is a great function. All the other functions apply as normal, so you can take the seconds off the clock like that. You can obviously go into dark mode like that too. So that all works in the same way. So everything else on Examscreen is exactly the same, but you just have these additional functions, and you have to remember to make sure that you select the exam that you want to apply those functions to.